Hey guys, it's Jasmine and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got another acrylic pour video. So we're going to start off with four 4x4 canvases. And I buy these in a pack of 4. And so I've got my paint already in my cup. Now, what do I put in my paint? It is acrylic paint, Floetrol, and water. I don't use any silicone in mine. So I've got some blues, a cream color, and bronze. And I like to thin it down so that it's the consistency of honey or syrup. You don't want it too watery, because if it's too thin, it's just going to fall right off your canvas and you won't have anything left, and you'll get too much of that canvas texture showing through in your final product. So I've used Prussian blue as the base blue for all of my different blues. And then I've added, you see I've got 2 really dark blues, one's more of a navy and one's more of a the purple side. That one has got a little bit of blue violet in it. But Prussian blue is the base blue for all of them. And then you add white until you get the different tones that you're looking for. So I'm going to add some white acrylic to the top and bottom of each canvas. Now I've noticed that when your canvas is wet, the paint moves easier. So you'll see some artists where they cover their entire canvas in a thin coat of white and then pour on top of it. You can do that if it makes it easier for you. I haven't been doing this very long, so I'm just kind of experimenting as I go, and I like the effects that I can get with the white on top and bottom. And sometimes you'll see this called negative pouring, because you're leaving some of the white space. So there's some of my paint. Now each one of these is going to look different, so be prepared for that. You're not going to get 4 uniform matching canvases. So I'm going to tilt these and just to kind of see what it wants to do. These are not a controllable art form. It's not a controllable force. There's only a certain amount of control in terms of what you get on the finished canvas, and that's kind of limited to how much you move it and the colors you choose. But the paint will kind of do what it wants to do and move where it wants to go, and as you do this, you'll learn kind of, if you see a spot you like and there's another spot you don't like, you want to pour off the spot you don't like, and you'll learn how to maneuver the canvas to do that. It does take a little bit of practice, but this is probably the easiest form of painting I've ever come across. And there is a lot of open time with these by adding the Floetrol. That kind of, by open time, it means that it slows down the drying process of your paint. So when you add different mediums to your paint, it gives you different effects. And one of those is it adds open time. So time you can move the paint, time you can play with it, add effects, change what you don't like, etc. And I do like to leave a little bit of paint in the cup just so I can add more if I need to, just like this one. And I was really liking that bright, bold blue stripe in the middle. So I wanted to kind of elongate that and make that a little wider. I like to have all of my edges around my paint canvas to be covered. You don't have to do that. That's completely up to you. So I was just using the paint that's already dripped off to kind of coat those edges. And then I take them kind of off my table so I have room to maneuver, and so I'm not dripping more blue paint onto my white areas like I did there. And the paint will level itself out. So you don't have to worry about trying to get it to be super smooth after you've added something to it. So you can scoop up paint with your palette knife and kind of drip it, if you will, onto the side panels of your canvas. Now these are about an inch tall, inch and a half tall, but you can buy less deep ones. If it's not the right way to say it, but you know what I mean. So for this one, I really liked how that bronze was coming out. The bronze stripe there. That was kind of getting wider, and I really liked how it looked against the blue. So I was trying to kind of work that a little bit. So if you decide to play with this medium, don't give yourself too many expectations, because it can be hard to start with it and have an idea in your head, and then you get the paint on there and it's not doing anything like you thought it would. So you just got to learn to roll with it and prepare to be messy. So I plan on, these are going to be a gift for somebody, and these are going to be together, so all 4 of them. And so I had these colors kind of in mind for that person when I did these. And they don't have to match, but all of the colors are the same in each one, so I think it's going to look really nice when it gets mounted up on the wall. I love watching the paint move and kind of create different bands of color and different textures and different patterns within itself. I think that's so neat. So here are the 4 all finished. I put 2 coats of Minwax Polycrylic water-based finish on them. This does not have a UV coating in it, so if that's something you're interested in, you're going to have to go to the outdoor section of your hardware store to find it. This I went to Ace Hardware locally and picked this up. Dries really fast, water safe, fumes aren't too bad. So it's got 2 coats on it, like I said. It gets nice, shiny, and really brings up the color. And I love how all of the colors layered themselves in this. It's so pretty. Now I didn't get too many cells in these. Again, I did not use any silicone or dimethicone in these. This is just acrylic paint, Floetrol, and water in this mix. But I did get a few cells pop up here and there. And I think that has more to do with there being air bubbles in the paint, so that when they rise to the surface, they come up through. But that's just a guess on my part. And these come in, these are 4x4, and then they're probably an inch wide at the base. And they do come in a pack of 4 canvases, or you can buy them individually. But I bought this as a 4-pack, which is kind of what gave me the idea to do the, 4 long pour that I did. And then for my first acrylic pour video, this one is the finished product from that. Let me zoom out a little bit. So this also has 2 coats of the polycrylic on it. I did get a little more cell action in this one. So in here. And this is called lacing, where the paint kind of thins out a little bit, kind of does its own thing. That's what I love about these pours, is that it does its own thing. It has a mind of its own, really. Love how that copper shows up. That's probably my favorite part of this whole piece. It's this copper section right here. Then you still see it laced in with this green and purple, but it didn't get muddy. And then again, that finish really kind of brings up the shine in that copper. It really makes it stand out against the other tones. So from start to finish, these probably take a week. From the pour, you gotta let them dry a couple days. I usually let these dry for a good 3 days solid to make sure that when I tilt this around to cover it, it's not gonna shift at all. You wanna make sure your acrylic is completely dry before you go to cover with the finish. Otherwise, it can get funny and crack and get crazing on it. Which is not the end of the world, depending on how bad it is, but it's not always what you want either. So it's a good bet to kind of give yourself a week from start to finish with these. And then once you have it dry, this polycrylic dries pretty fast. So I usually do all of my pieces, I'll do a coat on, and then by the time I get done with all of them, the first one's usually dry enough to put a second coat on. And this does not dry tacky, so that's completely smooth to the touch. It's not going to collect like sticky dust or anything like that on it, which is something I was concerned about. But yeah, these are completely smooth to the touch. They're not sticky at all. They don't stick to each other. So I really like that finish so far. Alright, thanks guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions. And we will catch you on the next video. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.